A regular meeting of the City Council was held in Council Chamber on Thursday, January 11th, 2018 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on January 9th, 2018 at 9:38 a.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. There are no councilors absent. Council President Gerard resided. Councilor Flynn moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. President Gerard requested that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilor Dominguez.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, and Madam City Clerk, are we going to... Okay, so before we get to public testimony, we still have the duty of swearing in Councilor McCarthy because he was in California during our inauguration with the rest of the UMass Amherst Marching Band. So,
On that
Clerk.
note, yes.
Stand. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Robert McCarthy,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as a member of the Salem City Council,
as a member of the Salem City Council,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Salem,
of the City of Salem.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I
Robert McCarthy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
and then once he finishes signing the book, we'll get started. Actually, and if I can just remind everyone, so we're going to do public testimony, and hopefully everyone knows, and also for the benefit of the new counselors, that whenever someone gets up to speak, whenever any of you get up to speak, that everything is directed towards me. And so during public testimony, nobody can ask any questions of someone. So just want to make sure that that's clear. So starting with public testimony, the first person on the list is Jeff Cohen. And Jeff, if you can state your name and address for the record.
Jeff Cohen, 12 Hancock Street, Salem. I'm going to start with a brief note from John Hayes, a PhD at Salem State. I am a resident of the, he is a resident of the city of Salem, a professor of physical and environmental geography. He teaches, researches climate change and its impact, and is a longtime member with me of the CERC, or Sustainability, Energy, and Resiliency Committee. John very much supports the city enacting a municipal tree ordinance. He's familiar with such ordinances of other cities and towns and strongly recommends that the city of Salem adopt this new ordinance to protect its urban tree and to have an intelligent framework for guiding what is done when trees have to be removed and replaced. A goal of cities engaged in fighting climate change and trying to improve the quality of life of its residents should not only be no net loss of trees, but to actually work to continually increase its tree inventory of healthy urban trees. The other thing I want to talk about real briefly is short-term rental regulations. There is a current regulation in the city of Salem that if a landlord changes tenancy of one of the tenant moves out and another tenant moves in, there is a requirement in Salem that the landlord has to go and get a certificate of fitness, a COF, from the Board of Health. I'm going to rhetorically ask if you guys know what percentage that actually happens. Hardly any. I've been a landlord of a 3-family for a long time and have only myself done it once. And it's much easier for a city to identify people who change tenancy because you can research utility bills, for example. But there is really no way other than self-identification for someone who is using their property as a short-term rental, such as Airbnb, who's going to go and identify themselves. What reason would they have? None. And the city really has no recourse to identify who these people are. So I'm encouraging this council to go well beyond the current additional regulation that was enacted in 2017 and develop a ordinance similar to what they have in cities like Somerville and Cambridge, which are not only do right by the community, increase the or keep a healthy rental stock, but companies like Airbnb feel like legitimizes them and are in favor of that. Thank you, and thank you, new council president.
Thank you, Jeff. Next, we have Sandra Power. I don't see her, so why don't we skip down to Tyler Terry? And then again, please just state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Tyler Terry from 22 School Street in Salem. I wanted to just make a comment about the marijuana zoning. I didn't expect the planning board to recommend both removing the prohibition on on-site consumption and allowing the retail shops in B1. If you're going to accept that, I would hope that you would split it into marijuana retail with sort of low volume consumption, similar to like wine tasting, and allow that in B1, and then high volume on-site consumption, similar to like a bar or a restaurant with alcohol service, and zone it like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that was all for public testimony. So hearings, none. Appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Carly Dwyer Nake to serve as a member of the Public Art Commission with a term to expire on September 22nd, 2018.
Councilor Madore.
Madam President, I move
Stand up.
Sorry.
Good job. Yep.
Madam President, I move to have this appointment be held under the rules.
This will be held under the rules. Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Gary Barrett to serve as a member of the Salem Redevelopment Authority with the term to expire on December 8th, 2021.
Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this appointment be confirmed by roll call vote.
Thank you. Under discussion?
Under discussion, yes. Mr. Barrett is a long-term resident of Salem. He might be a lifetime resident. I'm not exactly sure. But he's certainly a son of Salem, and he is a hard worker, a diligent person, does not do anything halfway. And I think he will be an excellent addition to the board.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Fury?
Madam President, I agree with Councilor Milo. I think Mr. Barrett will be synonymous. He's synonymous with public service at its highest calling. And then your wife, lovely wife, and yourself, public service is high calling. We're lucky to have people like you to step up and make it all possible. And the Salem Housing Authority is a good fit for you to allow your expertise and compassion for the city of Salem. So thank you for stepping on board. Gary, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dibble and Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I have to concur. I've known Mr. Barrett for some 30 years or so, 25 years at least. He's always done a great job. He used to live in Ward 7. Unfortunately, we got to get him back to Ward 7, I think. But I wholeheartedly recommend his appointment to this board, and hopefully everybody will vote him in. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Madam President. I wholeheartedly endorse this appointment. I can't think of a better person to fill this role. Gary's always been one of those guys you could always go to when you ever had a question or problem with anything. He's been around the block more than once, maybe twice, but his experience is going to be well utilized on this board, and I wholeheartedly recommend his appointment to this board.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. In the matter of the appointment of Gary Barrett to the Salem Redevelopment Authority, 11 counselors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. And Counselor Milo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we suspend the rules so that Mr. Barrett may address the council if he so chooses.
Thank you. Seeing no objection, Mr. Barrett, if you would like to address the council.
Madam President, councilors, I thank you for the words of support. It's an honor and privilege to be nominated and appointed by the mayor and confirmed by you. Thank you for your support. I promise to work hard with due diligence and serve the city well. I'm proud to do it. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, council members.
Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Thomas Watkins to serve as the City of Salem's purchasing agent with a term to expire January 31st, 2019.
Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that it be held under the rules.
This will be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Daniel J. Napolitano to serve as a member of the Salem Planning Board with a term to expire March 10, 2021.
Counselor Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this appointment be held under the rules.
Thank you. This will be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Emily Larson to serve as a member of the Salem Public Arts Commission with a term to expire on January 11th, 2020.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that it be held under the rules.
This will be held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Kurt Yankee Beauchamp to serve as a member of the Salem Public Art Commission with a term to expire January 11th, 2020.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that it be held under the rules.
Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Noreen Gachenard and J. Michael Sullivan to serve as members of the Salem Public Arts Commission with their terms to expire January 11th, 2020.
Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Thank you. Under discussion.
Yes, very briefly, as the liaison for the Public Arts Commission in 2017, I had the opportunity to witness both of these reappointments in person. They did a phenomenal job taking action to help the city of Salem. They have both brought enthusiastic efforts to Salem for well over 2 decades and have served the city in all sorts of capacities. And I wholeheartedly recommend both of these friends of mine for reappointment. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the mayor's reappointments of Noreen Gachenard and J. Michael Sullivan to serve as members of the Public Art Commission, there are 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matters carry. Communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $30,000 from receipts reserve sale of lots and receipts reserve sale of vaults to the Department of Public Services burial account.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objections, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you. Briefly, this is a routine transaction for the public services account. This is to take money that they've received in and transfer it to buy more burial vaults.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $25,000 from capital outlay renovation and repair account to be expended for renovations to the Salem Willows parking, trees, and landscape restoration by the engineering department.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is to repair damage that has happened with the loss of several of the willow trees and damage to the hill of the parking area, the dirt parking area that's been alongside the hill on the outskirts of the willows. They're hoping to get these done before the season actually starts. They want to do new plantings to replace the trees, the willow trees that were brought down in the storms this fall. And they're looking to also do some re-sculpting of that unofficial parking area and make it into a more formal parking area to preserve the hill and also hopefully to provide a few more spaces in the process.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Terrio's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $10,000 from fund balance free cash account to the planning overtime, building inspector overtime, human resources overtime, and health department overtime accounts to prepare documents for digitizing.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a matter we're in the process of taking a lot of our city records that have accumulated over the years and accumulated at 120 Washington Street. We're digitizing a number of those in order to make them more accessible, better preserve them, and also have a lot less material to haul over to the new building when we move over there this fall of this year. So this is some additional money for doing the digitization work and getting everything properly archived.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Counselor Milo.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to the Ward 5 Council, just a quick question. I just want to confirm that the clerk's office is part of this effort down the road. I understand that they're not listed on here, but I know there was talk about including the clerk in this effort. I just want to make sure that they're part of it, that's all.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you. To address that, this is right now, this digitization effort is basically focusing on departments that are at 120 at the moment to get that stuff, because those are departments that have to move. I know there's other work going on, and we can discuss this with the city clerk or even have a meeting to talk about where we're at with it. But this particular batch is for the work at 120, and my hope is that a lot of the records, because this building is pretty much stuffed with paper, get digitized properly.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept donations from Susan Shiro and Peter Manus Foundation in the amount of $20,000 from the Boston Foundation $20,000 and from the Boston Foundation in the amount of $20,000 to the North Shore Workforce Investment Board to provide employment retention services.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Briefly, Madam President, this is a very, very generous donation that's being done through the city to the North Shore Workforce Investment Board. $40,000 altogether to help with job preservation and help with training programs as well. So this is a really nice donation that's being done through the city and very much appreciated.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Terrill's motion that this be adopted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept revised donation previously listed as $3,000 for the corrected amount of $3,700 from the Salem Harbor Station to the Park and Recreation Donation Fund.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. This is a do-over from our December meeting. It turned out we actually had more money donated to us for to go into the Parks and Rec revolving fund than we expected to get from Footprint. They actually gave us $3,700 and not the $3,000 that we've already thanked them for. So thank you, Footprint, for the additional $700 and the $3,000 that was there first.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Terrill's motion that we accept the corrected amount, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the City of Salem adopt Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, for the purpose of setting up a revolving account for the road race fees.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is a new revolving fund that's being set up to take the portion of road race fees that the parks, when Parks and Rec assesses fees to organizations looking to do road races. Now a portion of that is going directly back into park maintenance. So creating this revolving fund allows that money that comes back to go into that fund and then be addressed for the purpose that we want to use it for. So it's extra money to work on our parks.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Terrio's motion that we accept this revolving fund, all those in favor? Those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an act concerning short-term rental excise tax in the city of Salem.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption by roll call vote, but before that, what I would like to say is that this is as it was put in the narrative, this is kind of an uphill battle. So I'll make my motion and then we can discuss. So
Now it's under discussion.
yes. So this could go into committee if the will was there, but basically this is a would-be home rule petition to the state to allow us to assess a short-term excise tax for Airbnb type and home away type rentals that is similar or is basically identical to what we currently get through our regular hotel tax. We're trying to, by doing this, we can register those residences, which we still don't have a really good way of controlling it. And this kind of ties a little bit to what Mr. Cohen was saying when he was addressing council earlier. Airbnb is a wonderful thing, but the city doesn't really have a lot of controls over it. We don't know who is renting. We don't really have all the things we need to in safety. And that's taking business and it's taking tax revenue away from our existing hotels in Salem too in some cases. So what we're looking to do is we want to treat these kind of rentals like we treat any kind of short-term rentals, like a hotel room or suite rental. But until there's a state program in place, the only way we could do this as a city would be through a home rule petition that would be accepted by the state legislature. So this is a request to do so in the off chance that maybe they actually grant it to us, but more likely this winds up, if we adopt it, this winds up helping move the conversation forward on Beacon Hill that's been stalled out for a couple of years in getting Airbnbs and similar kinds of short-term rentals taxed and regulated properly so that cities can have some control over it and get some revenue from it as well, which is something that the rental companies themselves are in favor of. It just hasn't been able to get any consensus at the state level.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Counselor Dibble?
Thank you, Madam President. I have to agree with the good Ward 5 counselor. However, I'd like to see this go into committee to be significantly strengthened, as we heard testimony tonight from the public testimony. And perhaps
committee?
it should go to the Committee on Community and Economic Development. Thank you.
Co-post?
I'm sorry, co-posted, yes.
Second? And is there a second? Thank you. Thank you. Under discussion? No discussion on moving it to committee?
Yeah, I'll say, I have no problem with moving that to committee. We can do things from a regulatory standpoint. The question that we'll determine in committee is how much of this we can do ourselves now and how much stuff we have to ask the state to do. So, there are some things that Mr. Cohen was addressing earlier that we can probably take on as a city ourselves for strengthening our existing regulations. And maybe we can package some of that with this as well. My only concern is, as we go forward with it, is that we don't want to pin too many of our hopes on getting a home rule petition approved, whereas we could do some of it ourselves. But we'll work that out, I'm sure.
Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Madam President. Just briefly, I don't have any problem with the matter going to committee, but what's in front of us is a home rule petition, and the home rule petition is just asking us to petition the state legislature to consider allowing us to 6%. I don't think anyone's in disagreement. That's what we want. Everything else we're talking about is ordinances relative to how we're going to regulate them locally. This is just asking us for the ability to tax them. So without having the home rule petition on someone's desk up in Beacon Hill and actually having them consider it, it's just, it's basically, we can put this matter in committee, but this should come right back out. The idea of regulations regarding Airbnbs or whatever umbrella you want to put them under is, everyone's in agreement that it has to be done, but the fact that what's in front of us is a home rule petition to access, if we allow Airbnbs to actually receive, recoup money from them. I mean, I don't think we can put that in an ordinance without having this piece of document approved, so it's like, they're kind of parallel, but at the same time, I think we want to get this up to the State House as quick as possible, and then work on everything else in conjunction with that. So, I have no problem with going to committee, but at some time, the committee needs to kick this back to us in a hurry. And if the wording on it's fine. The strengthening of any wording relative to how you want to regulate them isn't part of this document. This document is about asking the state to consider the tax, period.
Counselor Sargent?
Thank you, Madam President. The state may not be too far behind us because New Hampshire currently does. Airbnb pays every city in New Hampshire that has rentals, they pay them the tax rate through Airbnb. So, and a quick flyby wouldn't be so bad because, as much as short-term rentals should be paying some kind of a tax, they probably shouldn't be paying the same amount as a large hotel. It's a little different. One's a mom and pop, one's a large commercial entity. So there's a few things that should be discussed about this, sent forward, and we should really take a look at where the state is as far as them putting legislature. So if they're only a short while away from doing it, then we'd have a statewide rule on these also. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Madore?
Thank you, Madam President. I kind of agree with Councilor Sargent and Councilor McCarthy. Feeling in between about this petition, specifically because we've heard a lot about how we need to level the playing field for short-term rentals and current bed and breakfast operators, such as Mr. Cohen's wife, one of which is an owner of a local B&B. But I feel that there is a voice missing from our local Airbnb operators. We haven't heard anything from them, and if I am mistaken, please correct me if anybody has come forward as an Airbnb or short-term rental operator to potentially object to this tax. I would like to hear about that before we consider adopting this.
Councilor Terrio?
Just quickly, and then we should, we can just move this along. But I've actually, when we first had the short-term rental inspection ordinance that we passed last year came through, I had a number of Airbnb owners that are people we know contact me just to ask questions about it, and I asked most of them about just in general because I have no idea how it all works. And generally, I was like, okay, they're all generally fine with having it handled equally. It's just for them, they're some of them are doing it as a business, some of them are doing it just to make a few extra bucks, and it's not really a big deal for them. So, that doesn't apply to everybody, but that's what I've heard from.
Any further discussion? So the ruling right now is, Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I think the point that the good Ward 2 council just made is a good one, and I think that later tonight our new at-large Councilor Dominguez will be speaking to that issue, and I think that it will fully address the Ward 2 excellent comments just now.
Thank you. So the motion right now is to send it to Community and Economic Development, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. Mm-hmm. Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 24, Section 16, smoking prohibited on off-road paved bicycle route.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the matter be referred to Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
Briefly, there's a whole bunch of communications from the mayor relative to ordinances and some from members of this body coming in that is going in front of License, Order, Legal Affairs. A lot of which is going to have to be dealt with in a hurry. I'm just going to let my committee know that we will be dealing with everything that comes through to the committee, and hopefully we'll get it out in a timely manner. But I think with the makeup with 4 new members of the council, I don't think it's fair to anyone to be asking them to take a vote on any proposed new ordinance or one that's been in there tonight. I think that we'll just refer everything to committee, have in the next day or two or over the weekend, I'll poll the committee to find out what their availability is. with regards to meetings, what days of the week work better, and we'll try to figure out when we can get a lot of this. The committee last year didn't carry a lot of things over that had been in committee. This had been in committee for a while, and it hadn't been acted on, so you're going to see a lot of these coming back in from the mayor. They're things that either the mayor herself or someone else has brought in previously that we want to bring them back into committee to get them dealt with. And I would just hope it's the will of the committee to move on the matter up or down and get it out. If it's no, it's no. I mean, if the will is no, the will is no. It's the will of the committee. That's why the committee's there. But I will try to get, so anything that's on this agenda relative to this is going to be, I'll move to have it moved to the committee, co-posted to the committee, and co-posted.
Thank you.
Because it briefly to explain to any of the new councils or anybody at home, any ordinance that's put in front of us tonight, if we move to first passage and then send it to committee to work on it, if you have a document that's numerous pages long, and then the city clerk has to advertise that, of which we pay for that. And then if we make changes to that, then we have to go back to the back, then we go back to first passage, and then we need another second passage. So now we're advertising 3 times for a document. We should only advertise twice for it. It ends up costing us money in the long run. I would rather, with the 4 new members of the council this year, starting off, that we have the committee, if they're interested, come in, weigh in, get an understanding of what the ordinance is, what we're asking, and then we'll move them out as they come through.
Thank you. Any further? Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I am very happy to hear the good Ward 1 councilor state that he's going to move these things out. For some reason, this one has sat in committee for 2 or 3 years. I'm not sure how long. 3 years. I wasn't aware that this was in committee at all, because this was introduced before I was even a councilor. So it sat around for a long time. There's a Ward 7 resident here in attendance tonight, and I went out on the bike path 6 months ago. We picked up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, literally hundreds, of cigarette butts along a little teeny section of the bike path. We didn't even cover too much of it. Further down, there's a lot more. So this will be a good thing. I encourage the Ward 1 councilor to bring this out and make this illegal. We put a cigarette butt bin at the same location. It's filled, it overflowed, but there's still more. I was by there the other day before it snowed, and there's hundreds more right there. It's continual. It needs to happen, and it should not be allowed.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Sargent.
Just a quick comment on that. I think I know exactly what Councilor Dibble's talking about. That's where, because the university has a no smoking policy. So the students step off the university property onto the bike path, and it becomes a smoking area. And a simple fence there would help the city and help the bike path and help it from being that way. Or a smoking area somewhere on the campus. We've brought that up in meetings before, but that simple little fence to make it difficult to get out there to go smoke would end probably most of this. So I'm all in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion to refer this matter to OLA, to Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Co-posted.
Co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. So all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 1, Section 1-10C, non-criminal disposition of ordinance violations by inserting a new penalty for smoking prohibited on off-road paved bicycle route.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Order, Legal Affairs, co-posted.
Under discussion?
Briefly, it just piggybacks on the one above it. So, I mean, we just need to have a committee, have a meeting, get it out, which we will do.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 24, offenses and miscellaneous provisions by adding a new section, Section 24-30, to retain marijuana establishment limits.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Order, Legal Affairs, co-posted.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's matter that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 26, Article 3, Salem Common Use Policy, Parks and Recreation.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Order, Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council McCarthy's motion that this matter be referred to Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor?
We have an ordinance amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 36, Section 36-4, pickup of large items, demolition, and renovation debris.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Order, Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Under discussion?
Briefly, as being a contractor, I fully understand this. I can't tell you how many times I've gone onto a job and someone's replaced a rug and someone's cut it up and bundled it and the rug guys know that not just our municipality, almost every entire municipality around us considers not area rugs, I'm talking a whole scale, wall-to-wall carpeting cut up, is demolition debris. And people still stack it out by their trash barrels, and the rug companies know it, and they try to put it out on the municipality because they don't want it. It should be on their end to get rid of it and pay for it. And this is just tighten up the language and having everyone have an understanding of it. That's just one example but there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be looked at and understood what actually is in the contract, what isn't in the contract, and what is covered for deemed construction debris. There's a whole, as a homeowner, you're allowed X amount of bulky items, and there's a whole list of stuff like that. So I think it's important that this goes to the committee and we talk about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council McCarthy's motion that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor?
We have an ordinance amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 40, Tourism and Public Marketing, Article 2, Division 1.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Legal Affairs, co-posted.
Under discussion?
No discussion. I mean, I've said it earlier. A lot of this stuff was brought in last year, and the council's been here before, have aware of it. The newer councils, just giving them time to get up to speed, and we'll have a meeting on it, and then we'll refer to it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council McCarthy's motion that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor?
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an order for an appropriation of $19,383.06 from the Retirement Stabilization Vacation Sick Leave Buyback account to be expended for negotiated sick leave buyback for Amy Connolly of the library and Dennis Ross of the building inspector's office, who have retired.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules to bring the matter before the City Council.
All those in favor? Yeah? What? Yeah. No objection. No objection. I'm sorry. And no objection. Okay.
Thank you. And I now move that the matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance per open meeting law. And we can't discuss it because it's a late.
Great. So all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor?
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an order pursuant to Massachusetts Conflict of Interest Law, General Law, Chapter 268A, Section 20B. The City Council hereby approves a Section 20B exemption for the Mayor, Kimberly Driscoll, to serve as the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development's appointee to the Salem Housing Authority.
Council McCarthy. Oh, and let the record reflect that Councilor Milo has recused herself.
Thank you, Madam President. I moved, if there's no objection,
Any objection?
if there's no objection, I move that the matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, due to the late file.
Thank you. And since there's no discussion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Diablo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs.
You have to read it.
I apologize.
Yes.
City of Salem, in the year 2018, an ordinance to amend an ordinance regarding management and elimination of natural gas leaks. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. The City of Salem Code of Ordinances shall be amended by adding the following new Chapter 13, now reserved. Chapter 13, Management and Elimination of Natural Gas Leaks. Waive the reading?
Yeah,
Wait for the reading.
Thank you.
So moved.
Wait for that.
I'd like to take back what I just said. I'm going to move for adoption for first passage.
Under discussion?
Under discussion, this is something that we've been talking about since we heard our first presentation from SAFE. Pat Gazumba informed us back at the beginning of the summer, I think it was. And then we held a committee meeting on it in October, where we had a sizable amount of public testimony here in this chamber. We had another meeting at Salem State College, a public meeting at the middle of November, with quite a few gas leaks experts and mapping and on and on. And it's quite clear that these gas leaks, hundreds and hundreds of them, probably just under 300, my guess, well over 200 of them anyway, throughout the entire city of Salem. The gas that's leaking out of these ordinances is winding up killing the shade trees throughout the city. It is hurting our environment. It's bad for human intake. It's just bad across the board, and it costs the ratepayers a sizable amount of money. And any measure that we can take to help reduce to reduce the problem is a good thing.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Counselor Devil, you have the floor.
No, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. So under Counselor, I'm sorry, Counselor Milo.
Thank you, Madam President. I have no objection to, I don't think, anything that's in this ordinance, and I did go to the, excuse me, the December meeting. I missed the October meeting. And I actually did have a conversation with Jeff Fine-Snells last year, talking about the idea of having SAFE come in and give a presentation to the council, since, you know, there were going to be new councilors and we weren't sure who was going to make the November meeting. As I said, I don't necessarily have any objections because I attended the meeting, but I would actually move that this go to OLA and that we invite SAFE in to, at the committee meeting, give us give them an opportunity to kind of give maybe a Reader's Digest version of their November presentation, so that folks might feel a little better and more informed about what we're voting on. So my motion would be to actually move it to OLA and co-post.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you. So any further discussion? Seeing none. On Counselor Milo's motion to move the matter to ordinances, licenses, and legal affairs, co-posted with the committee of the whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Counselor Milo.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, January 11th, 2018. We've got a resolution relative to PVD Essex Museum's proposal to move Salem's historical records to Raleigh. It's not a long resolution. I'll read it quickly. Whereas Salem is a community of individuals who are deeply committed to their local heritage and is home to cultural and historic organizations that include the House of the Seven Gables, Pioneer Village, Salem Maritime National Historic Site, and PVD Essex Museum, whereas the Essex Institute served as the Salem Historical Society and housed materials entrusted to the Institute by generations of Salem families, a place where anyone could walk into and conduct scholarly research or family genealogy, whereas the Essex Institute merged with the PVD Museum of Salem in 1992 to create the PVD Essex Museum and continued the tradition of accessibility through the Phillips Library, though recently the museum has stated its intention to move the majority of the library collection, including much local history, to a facility in Raleigh. And whereas the City Council recognizes PEM's important role in the community and its efforts to be good stewards of the collections entrusted to them, but also knows that there would be a significant loss to Salem residents if the local collections are moved to Raleigh, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council asks the PEM to continue to work with the community at large, local, historical, cultural, and academic organizations and institutions to explore every possibility to keep the Phillips Library open and Salem's historical documents in Salem. We request that the PEM convene a working group, including representatives from all stakeholders, as soon as possible to begin the good work of keeping Salem's most treasured history in Salem. And I move for adoption.
Thank you. Before I say under discussion, I just want the record to reflect that Councilor Fury has recused himself. So, under discussion.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. First of all, I would like everybody to know that this is, in fact, a plea for collaboration. It's not a contentious situation. We don't want it perceived as a contentious situation between the Council of the City and PBD Essex, because that's not what we're looking to do here. All we're asking is that the PEM keep the conversation going, that they include all stakeholders, and that they explore all possibilities and all local resources in terms of trying to find places to keep these records. I actually did have a conversation with the facilities manager over at PBD Essex. He has a copy of this. He's perfectly fine with this. They certainly sound like they're more than willing to sit down at the table, which is really encouraging. And I know that there's a community meeting over there tonight that we all missed. I'm disappointed about that, but that's the way it goes. And I think this is a great opportunity for all of us in Salem and PBD Essex to join together to really preserve our history. Now, everybody's got a different definition of what stewardship is. I think that will be kind of ironed out at the stakeholder table, but I'm encouraged that this will come to a good conclusion, and that maybe not everybody will be happy, but certainly we'll see more records locally than maybe we would have if folks hadn't brought this to everybody's attention. So I encourage my colleagues to join me in passage of this resolution, and so that we have an idea of where we kind of all stand regarding Salem's history. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Madam President. I was at the December 28th Preservation Partners meeting, and it was very clear that there were two goals that were shared among both PEM and stakeholders in the community. And first is the preservation of the archive itself, which is the top priority at this moment. And the second is increase accessibility. And they all had different ideas of how to get to those two goals. So this is not the first time we're going to be discussing or hearing about this issue, and I'm looking forward to more discussions, and I fully support this resolution. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Madam President. I mean, it should be pretty clear that Salem's history should remain in Salem. Boston should remain in Boston. If Boston was trying to move their historic records to Salem, I'd be saying you should take them back to Boston. We don't want them in Salem. They deserve to be where they came from. And in some way between the museum and Salem State College, there's got to be enough room, enough climate-controlled rooms to keep these in good shape and in Salem. And let's hope we can make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none on Councilor Milo's motion for adoption of the resolution. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. You want to grab Councilor Fury? There it is. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem City Council, January 11, 2018, ordered that the attached proposed ordinance relative to a tree commission and warden, public tree preservation, protected tree preservation, and references for public and protected trees be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam
I'm
President.
sorry, are you moving for adoption?
Yes, move for adoption,
Thank
sorry.
you. Now, under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Briefly, this was the big affair of Salem over the last month or so. This is the work that was done by the Lorax Committee over the last roughly not quite 2 years. They did a lot of work, led by a lot of people from my neighborhood, Sandy Power, Polly Wilbert, Councilor Dibble helped with it, Councilor Epley chaired it. They did a lot of work to prepare this. It's lengthy. There's a lot of stuff here to unpack and deal with and figure out. They did a huge amount of effort to figure out the best way to, and also to recognize Mr. Cohen's wife, Laura, who worked a ton on this. But this is a effort to try and put a organized framework in for guidelines for protecting our trees, replacing them, planting them, dealing with issues of vandalism, dealing with issues of maintenance, and get it all in one place finally. And it's something the city has lacked for a long time. I'm really glad that the committee did that work. Unfortunately, due to a bunch of hullabaloo, it didn't wind up getting officially submitted last month, but it's being submitted now. So I just want to recognize the work of all the people who put into it. We'll get it in front of the committee, and they will then, I'm sure there's still plenty of work remaining to be done with this document and this system, but we'll get it started. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out, and I really hope we get something passed this year to, put in a real framework for protecting our trees.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I have to concur with the good Ward 5 councilor. I look forward to seeing a tree ordinance in place, a tree commission in place, whether it's called Lorax or tree commission, doesn't matter to me, and do good things to help our urban forest. There was a question I had earlier today. I had distributed a copy of this ordinance, which hadn't been previously distributed to the council membership, and I had a description of history on there. And there was a question by our council president, I think, to our solicitor, whether or not I was in violation of the open meeting law with that ordinance that you all received. And she came back with a ruling today that I was not in violation of the open meeting law, but she suggested that I read my email into the record tonight. So with that, may I?
Thank you. You may.
Okay. Yes. And I apologize, it's a long email. If I knew I'd be reading this email here today, I would have written a shorter email. I had asked our city clerk to please print out a copy of the attached draft tree ordinance and the table of contents for the Council Fiore, as he does not use email. And then I went on. Hi, councilors. Attached, please find a copy of the draft tree ordinance. On December 4th's Lorax meeting, it was voted to make several changes to the ordinance and submit it to the city clerk before December 5th's noon council deadline for the December 7th meeting. Darlene Millis did an excellent job in writing and typing up the document in time, with much assistance from Sandy Power and Polly Wilbert along the way. The attached table of contents wasn't ready and was sent to me a week after the council meeting. You might find the table useful to follow along with when reading the ordinance. Councilor Epley and I served on the Lorax since its creation, along with many other volunteers from Salem who are either experts in trees or have a strong interest in trees. We met about a couple dozen times over the past 18 months on tree issues, with roughly the last year or so working only on the draft. Councilor Epley served as Lorax's chair. A few of the Lorax members were being burnt out of all the tree ordinance meetings, and we're happy to see it move on to the council. At the December 4th, the Lorax chair repeatedly said on several of my tree-related suggestions that the city council would fix each tree issue I raised. The vote was pushed through by the chair, and I was outvoted by Lorax committee when the chair wanted it sent to the council before he left the council. I felt the ordinance still needed more work, I felt the ordinance still needed more work, but that is not the reason I later objected to Councilor Epley's motion. I supported the Lorax in their decision to move the ordinance forward. The Lorax chair should have updated the council and provided a copy of the ordinance to the rest of the councilors in advance of the meeting so they could speak on the matter and know what they were voting on. To the best of my knowledge, 9 councilors who did not serve on the Lorax had not seen the attached document, and it was not shared. Immediately prior to December 7th, two counselors asked if I would object to carrying the matter forward. If I did not agree, they said that they would be objecting. We all agreed that the ordinance should have been shared, but was not. A minute before the meeting, I quickly agreed to object. As it was agreed, I would be the best able to answer Lorax-related questions as I served on that committee. I was told council rules state no...
Council rules state.
I totally lost my place here. This phone should be a lot bigger. I was told that council rules state no discussion is allowed on an objection, and after living through it, I believe that that rule should be changed. Absolutely changed. I would have liked to explain the reason for my objection in that the councilors should have knowledge about something they are voting on, even if putting it into committee. As you know, the council vote was taken, so, as you know, no council vote was taken, so the Lorax, as you know, no council vote was taken, so the ordinance was not killed, and the Lorax committee is still in place. Nor has the ordinance process been slowed down at all since OLA would not have met again in 2017 and has not yet met in 2018. I look forward to working with the council and Lorax on this ordinance and the tree-related matters. FYI, from 1986 to 2000, I ran the tree planting program resulting in many thousands of trees being planted. Much of the work identifying and marking the tree locations and writing grants was done on my time after work and on weekends. I have volunteered and worked to protect and enhance our forests, wetlands, harbor, and open space for decades, contrary to all the baloney being posted on Facebook by people who do not even know me. I care about our environment. Councilors Flynn and Sargent, here is the ordinance you requested earlier today. Sorry it took so long. Sorry it took longer than expected to get this to you, as Matt in the IT department had shut down and was working on my email for the past day. As my phone just went blank. Again, please find the attached draft tree ordinance that I feel should have been distributed to you all prior to the last meeting. Steve Dibble, Ward 7 Councilor. For the record, please let it show.
Thank you very much. The city clerk has made a record of that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrell's motion that this be adopted, meaning it's going to ordinances, licenses, and legal affairs, co-posted with the committee of the whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further, Councilor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem City Council, January 11, 2018, ordered that the monthly financial report dated November 30th, 2018 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor Terrell's motion that this be moved for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Committee reports. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I will, since at the time of the meeting I was not sworn in, I will defer to Councilor Milo, who chaired the meeting in my stead.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
I'm sorry. I think I was supposed to do any further motions, orders, and resolutions if there were any late files. I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you,
First
Madam
meeting.
President. I ordered that the
Yes.
Committee on Economic and Development hold a public meeting to discuss A&B and their impact on the City of Salem and possible creation of an ordinance to oversee the rentals and hotel. We asked to invite the hotel inns, city solicitor, and building inspectors, as well as the health agents to that meeting.
And this is posted to, you want this to go to Community and Economic Development?
Yes.
Is this co-posted?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So, under discussion.
Seconded.
Oh, seconded. Thank you, Councilor Dibble. Under discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion.
Late file.
Late file, thank you. So, on Councilor Domingo's motion that his order be sent to Community and Economic Development, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Any further late files? Okay. Committee reports. As Councilor McCarthy was just starting to say that because he wasn't sworn in for ordinances, licenses, and legal affairs, that Councilor Marlowe, would you like to give, since you chaired the meeting, did you want to give the report on your meeting? Sure. I'm sorry, wait,
Well, she has the sheet.
she has it? Okay.
The sheet I gave to you.
Did you give me a sheet?
Committee report sheet. The one with who's absent, who's there.
Give it to
Did you
Cheryl.
leave it here?
Yeah. I think I can remember it.
Nope. There you go.
Thank you. City of Salem, the Council Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs met in the council chamber on Thursday, January 11th, 2018 at 6:30 PM for the purpose of discussing the matters listed below. Notice of this meeting was posted on January 3rd, 2018 at 1:02 PM. We had no councilors absent, and the subject was granting certain licenses, seaworms, secondhand clothing, and secondhand valuables. And we voted to grant all the licenses.
Thank you. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? So accepted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Councilor Milo's motion to adopt the recommendation. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. Still getting over the cold, but Salem City Council on January 11, 2018, Committee Administration Finance, whom was referred the matter of a transfer order of unexpected bond proceeds totaling $3,660,268.84 originally borrowed for the purposes and under the orders for projects now completed for which no liability remains are hereby reappropriated and for the purpose of provided funds for acquiring the 289 Derby Street property at $1.4 million and to reduce the amount previously authorized by City Council on January 19th, 2017 for such purpose by a like amount and for Canal Street sewer upgrades at $2,260,260.84 and to reduce the amount previously authorized by order of the City Council passed on June 27th, 2016 for such purpose by like amount, has considered said matter and would recommend approval, which be by roll call vote.
Thank you. On Councilor Terriel's, on the acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On the adopting the recommendation, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This came before us in December and was carried over because we did not suspend the rules to put it before us then. We have leftover money from bonds that we issued in the last several years to handle school renovations because substantially more reimbursement came in from the Mass School Building Authority than we had anticipated getting in. So we have unexpended funds from previously issued bonds. Rather than literally returning those to her for a penalty, we intend to repurpose those bonds to eliminate the need for us to issue bonds that we'd authorize for the Canal Street project that have not yet been sent out, and also the long-term bond for the Derby Street acquisition, which we have already paid for with short-term fund financing, but the long-term bond has not yet been put out in the spring bond package, so we can avoid putting that one out, and that's going to reduce the total indebtedness of the city. So it's a good reuse of existing money that we have available, reduces the amount of debt that the city takes on, and saves us a decent amount of money going forward. So we had the finance director in to explain this, and the city solicitor, and this was approved.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terriel's adoption of the recommendation, which is, adoption of the recommendation was by roll call vote.
To adopt by roll call vote. Yes.
To adopt by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fiore? Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you very much. In the matter of accepting the unexpended bond amounts in the total amount of $3,660,268.84, 11 counselors voting, 11 in the affirmative, the matter carries. Further, no, we do not have further committee reports. So communications from city officials.
We have a communication from Ben Anderson, Chairman of the Planning Board, relative to the Planning Board's recommendation adopting zoning ordinances relative to marijuana, Section 3.0, Table of Principal Uses and Accessory Uses, Section 6.0, Special Regulations of the Salem zoning ordinance, and Section 10.0, Definitions.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam President, sorry, excuse me. I move that this be received and placed on file.
Councilor McCarthy, motion that this be received and placed on file. All those in favor?
Second.
Under discussion for the receipt and file, or do you want to go under discussion for the particular items? Because we do have the individual sections to vote on.
I would like them all to go to committee. That's why I want to make sure I don't do something that's going to stop that from happening. Possibility from happening, okay? That's, I would like each section to go to committee because of.
Okay, should we say that in each section?
Yeah,
Or do you
I'd
want-
like to recommend each section go to committee because there's been some changes. And with all due respect to Council McCarthy, is it all right if I speak?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, because there's been some changes by the planning board. The public hearing was closed here. With the planning board, the public was not allowed to speak. As Mr. Curry was allowed to speak here earlier tonight, but that's the first time the public's been allowed to speak since we closed the public hearing. And so I always think it's better to have one meeting on it, let people come in, digest these changes, and I'm not sure. There could be 50 different people that might have issues with some of the changes. We just don't know. And then I think we'll end up with a better product in the long run. So we're almost there. I think we'd be remiss not to have another public hearing on it when it was closed so long ago, and people went to those meetings and did a lot of listening, but they weren't allowed to speak. So thank you.
Thank you. So just to vote on receiving and filing this, and then we will, Councilor Sargent, how about we add your recommendation when we go through each of the next sections, each of the votes, and then we'll do it that way. So on Councilor McCarthy, oh, yes.
Do we want to send the communication in their recommendation to committee as well?
Yes.
So moved. Oh, so moved. Okay, so posting and which committee are we sending to?
That's from Ola.
Ola? Okay. Because Ola doesn't have enough to do. So, okay, so moving that this be received and filed and that it be moved to Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Or just to Ola, no received on file, just to Ola, I think, right?
Do I still have to receive and file it, don't I?
No.
No. Okay, great. So I will amend that. So move that the recommendations from the Planning Board be sent to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those, no further under discussion, right? No. Okay, so all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Okay, further communications from city officials. Or, so, we don't need to do these then? So these are all going to go to, so Section 3, Section 6, Section 10, all going to committee. Got it. Okay, petitions.
You want those
No.
to go with it.
What? Councilor McCarthy.
I should probably make a motion.
Oh, do you want to?
Yeah. Thank you, Madam President. I also move that the matters relative to the communication from the planning board relative to the marijuana be sent to the Committee on License or Legal Affairs, the next 1, 2, 3 items,
Co-posted.
co-posted.
Okay.
And my only question, if I may,
Yes.
to the city clerk, the timetable on acting on this? If you could get back to me, just to make sure that we do that
Yeah.
in time, Matt. And relative to Councilor Sargent's inquiry relative to the meeting, I think the public hearing on this matter has been closed, if I'm correct. And
That's correct.
I understand that the planning board had their meeting and people were allowed to witness it. And as the matter on this, and I will look for guidance in the next couple of days. I have no problem referring this matter to committee, but I'm not going to be opening up a public hearing again about this matter. The matter is much like what the planning board just dealt with. This is this is for the committee and the council they're allowed to get input or opinions from anybody in the public who wants to approach them or send them an email relative to it. But we're not going to be reopening a public hearing relative to this matter. This matter is we're going to take we already had a public meeting. The recommendations from the planning board get referred to us, and then we get to weigh what their changes were relative to the input they heard from the public meeting and their own input, and then we get to take their input, put our own input on it, and then put a document back in front of us for a vote up or down. I just want to make sure I'm correct on that, because I don't want to give anyone an inclination that we're going to open up another public hearing on this matter, because this is an atypical situation that isn't a typical committee meeting. This is a continuation of a public process relative to zoning, and the public hearing on this matter has been closed. Anybody can weigh in. Anyone can call me. Anyone can send me an email and say, hey, I looked at what the changes were. I think that you should look at this. That's the ability of the 11 of us to weigh those comments that we get from people prior to the meeting. But it's our ability during that meeting to figure out how we want to deal with these changes, whether we want to accept them or we want to even amend them further. But we're not going to open up another public hearing, because that's against what the process is. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Thank you.
May I ask a question,
Councilor
Madam President? I in the past, a public hearing is different than a committee meeting. A committee meeting, that's why we have committee meetings. We can allow people to speak without it being a public hearing. So we're not having a public hearing. Many things, not everything that goes to committee is a public hearing. A public hearing is called for various things, and this had a public hearing. But at a committee meeting, we're not a committee of the whole. I think people we have a right to solicit questions, ask them to be brief, and somebody might clear up something for us. As I've said many times before, we're not the 11 smartest people in the city. We should be the 11 best listeners in the city. And there's going to be people who know this issue way better than we do. And if they have something important to say, I'd like to give them 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. Not let them run on, but time just to clear something up if possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion that all these matters be co-posted, go to ordinances, licenses, and legal affairs, co-posted with the committee of the whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. So we are on to petitions.
We have a petition for mobility to attach a small cell backhaul equipment to the existing utility pole, a non-city-owned pole, on Highland Avenue directly in front of the Salem Hospital property.
Hearing ordered January 25th, 2018. Further petitions.
We have a request from the North Shore Pride for use of city streets on June 23rd, 2018 for their 7th annual North Shore Pride Parade.
And I want to note that the petitioner has, since our agenda's come out, the petitioner has withdrawn their request. Further petitions.
We have a list of public guide and taxi operator license applications.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that be granted.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy, that these petitions be granted. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 2 taxi operator licenses.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Move they be denied.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion that these 2 matters be denied. All those in favor? All those opposed? Did I get enough hands? All those in favor? Thank you. All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a taxi operator hearing request.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these matters be referred to Committee License Order Legal Affairs to hold an executive session.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of junkyard, secondhand valuable, and tag day applications.
Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on License, Order, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Counsel McCarthy's motion that these be moved to ordinances, license, and legal affairs, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of drain layer and contract operator licenses.
Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that be granted.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Counsel McCarthy's motion that these be granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of claims.
Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on License, Orders, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Councilor McCarthy's motion to move this to refer these matters to Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending zoning relative to Section 8 Entrance Corridor Overlay District by adding Section 8.2.8 Design Review Board Recommendation Design Oversight.
Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
No discussion unless anybody else wants to speak. I'm all
Any
set.
further
Thank you.
discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of Councilor Sargent's motion for adoption and second and final passage for the ordinance zoning, Section 8, 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. Councilor Milo. No, I'm sorry, unfinished business, sorry. Well, further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending zoning Section 3.2 by adding a new Section 3.2.8 accessory living areas.
Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second passage by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the ordinance zoning, Section 3.2 for adoption for second and final passage, 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time, repeal Nursery Street in front of number 11 for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking tow zone.
Councilor Fury.
Madam President, I move for adoption for second and final passage, please.
Under discussion?
Yeah, I think it was very eloquently spoken at the last meeting by Councilor Gerard on this petition very eloquently. Thank you very much for allowing me to do this.
Thank you. So move for losing my words all of a sudden. For adoption for second and final passage for Councilor Fury's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time, Forester Street in front of number 2 for a distance of 20 feet.
Councilor Madore.
Madam President, I moved for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Madore's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time, Barton Street in front of number 13 and a half for a distance of 20 feet.
Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage, please.
Under discussion?
Being none.
Any further discussion? Being none. On Councilor Sargent's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time, Laurel Street, northerly side, starting at a point of 20 feet from West Hazel Street and continuing in a westerly direction for a distance of 20 feet.
Counselor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? There being none, on Counselor Terrell's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time, Laurel Street in front of number 19 and a half for a distance of 20 feet.
Counselor Terrell.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Seeing no further discussion, on Counselor Terrell's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 13, service zones, Lafayette Street in front of number 163 Lafayette, Levesque Funeral Home. No parking, service zone from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Funeral services, vehicles only.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor McCarthy's motion that this be adopted for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Counselor Fury.
Motion adjourned, Madam President.
Thank you. All those in favor? All those opposed? We are adjourned.
Wow.